Have you ever felt that you are much weaker than other powerlifters or that you are progressing much slower than others? Well, this video is mostly about competitive powerlifters but also athletes in general. And we are going to be discussing about comparison in sports, comparison in general, because it's something in human nature and you cannot avoid it. So how do we manage it to make it productive and not destructive? So like I said, this video is going to be about competitive powerlifters or athletes in general, but it can also apply to people who do powerlifting or sport as a hobby. And I'm sure that every single one of you that's been watching this video have compared themselves at least one time with someone else and felt bad about themselves. So welcome to life. That's something in our nature and we cannot avoid it. And sadly, in competitive sports, it's something that you will be judged on. So I like to believe that comparison is a good thing. Many people say don't compare yourself. Comparison is a thief of joy, that you shouldn't compare yourself with others. But what I believe, for competitive powerlifters, you cannot basically avoid it because that's all you actually do, because you compete against others, you compare your numbers against others, and whoever comes on top wins, whoever totals less loses. So that's everything you do. If you're a competitive athlete, you have to compare yourself, and you will be compared with others in order for someone to be the winner. I always like to say, if you are not a competitive powerlifter and you do this as a hobby, and you find that comparing yourself either through social media or stuff you see in the internet, that it's shutting you down and it's making you feel helpless, or that other people are too far ahead, you can basically block that off and try to not be on those platforms as much and compare yourself. Or think about that everybody has their own starting point, and you can compare yourself to where you started and not where others are in relation to you. But for competitive athletes, and this is mainly the main point of this video, is that comparison is unavoidable and you will be compared, and someone will be the loser and someone will be the winner. But what if I told you there is a productive way to do this and a healthy way? So I want to say that people react differently to these things. People react differently to comparison. For example, for me, if I compare myself to everyone, and it does not shut me down. It helps me, it fuels me, and I try to better myself. And I know even if I try and I don't come as close or I don't win, at least I did my best, and that's good enough for me. But there are people who cannot take comparison very well, and this usually happens because they compare themselves with what I like to say the final boss. So let me explain it to you in this way. Let's say you are playing a video game and you are progressing through the video game. You first have to play the early stages, then play the middle stages, and then go to the final boss or whatever, and if you kill him, you win. So I like to think powerlifting the same way. If you are at the beginning of your game and you don't have as much experience, you are not as strong, you are not as whatever, the final boss will probably be out of reach, you won't be able to beat it. So you're setting yourself up for disappointment, you're setting yourself up for feeling helpless because there's too much distance. And what you basically want to do is that you split this journey up in phases, and you can do this by comparing yourself in your smaller circle and then expanding. So what I mean by that, let's say you started powerlifting, it really doesn't make sense to compare yourself with a world champion. What I would advise you to do is that you first compare yourself with other people in your gym, and then as soon as you become the strongest there, maybe compete in a local meet, compare yourself with the other people there, try to get a little better to beat them. And then if you beat that level, go to regionals, go to nationals. And if you beat that level and you compare yourself at that level and you see that you are good, move to the next level at international, maybe B groups first, and then compare yourself with the A groups, with the world champions, with the European champions. And this will help you use comparison in a productive way, because you are also building momentum and you're also building your confidence, because you start slow, you start small, and you build up. Okay, I beat this guy, I got better than this guy, I got better. And then you're building all that momentum into the final stages of powerlifting, where some people compare themselves at the beginning of their journey. They're comparing themselves with someone who had like 10 years of work in them, and you're basically a few months in, so this is not helping you at all. I like to also think about that. Let's say you're given a very big project to make, maybe at school, maybe at work, and it's a lot of work, and you see it for the first time and you're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling that there's so much to do, you don't know where to start. So you basically, what you want to do is to split up the project in smaller tasks, something more manageable, and then you tick off those tasks and you basically start completing the project. So like everything, if you have a very big overwhelming project or a very big overwhelming ambition or something, you have to break it up in smaller tasks so that you have a way to start, you have a way to build momentum, and you can build your confidence, because confidence does not come from talking to yourself in the mirror. It comes from previous successes and the build up. And in a moment where you feel doubt, you know that you did this and this and this, and it gives you power and confidence to make you believe that you will get over an obstacle, the next goal, and this is how you build momentum and use confidence in a productive way. So like I said, if you are a non-competitive powerlifter, or if you are doing this for fun, and if you find that comparing yourself will hurt you, you can shut this off. But if you are a competitive athlete and you have very big ambitions, comparison will always be there, and you will be compared, and there can only be one winner. So learn how to use it effectively and learn how to use it productively so that you become better, you don't get overwhelmed and feel paralyzed. So this was my short take on comparison and how it's a good thing and how you can use it productively to make you a better athlete. If you want to improve your technique, make sure you check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.